Little Princess. I Don't Like Worms. Written by Dan Wixman. Read by Colin McFarlane. It had been raining all morning at the castle, but at last the sun had come out. Little Princess was very excited because muddy puddles were one of her favorite things. Mud is really squishy, and I can do lots of different things with it, said Little Princess with a big smile. I make mud castles. I run and jump in the mud. And I like to throw mud pies with the Prime Minister. Oh, mud is lots and lots of fun, she giggled and threw squelchy mud into the air. Oops, sorry. Little Princess was busy playing when suddenly something popped out of the mud. It was very wiggly indeed. Oh, yucky, gasped Little Princess and dropped her squishy mud pie. There's a horrible creature in the mud, yelled Little Princess, dashing over to the Prime Minister. It wriggles like this. Oh, we'd better take a look, said the Prime Minister bravely, and together they crept over. There it is, pointed Little Princess. The Prime Minister was very relieved when he saw the creature. That's just a common garden worm, he chuckled. Yuck! It's wriggling again, cried Little Princess in horror. Well, yes, nodded the Prime Minister. That's what worms do. But it's yuck, she said with a shudder. I'll have to find mud somewhere else. Little Princess and the Prime Minister found a lovely new puddle of mud by the rabbit hill. This mud is just as squishy, said Little Princess gleefully, when suddenly another wiggly worm popped up. Ugh! Screeched Little Princess. Not another one. I don't like worms, said Little Princess crossly, and quickly ran away. Gardener, called Little Princess, tugging on his jacket. Do you know a place I can play where there is mud but no worms? There are worms everywhere, chortled the gardener. The mud is their home. Then I'm not playing in the mud any more, sighed Little Princess. It's full of yucky worms. Lunchtime, Princess, called the chef. My finest spaghetti, voila, he said, putting it down on the table. Yummy, said Little Princess, and began tucking in. Little Princess looked at the wriggly spaghetti on her fork and yelped in surprise. Yuck! Worms! she cried. The chef was very confused. You usually love my spaghetti," he called, as she hurried out of the kitchen. "Worms in my mouth," groaned little Princess. She quickly grabbed her toothbrush and squirted some toothpaste. Little Princess looked at the big wriggly dollop of toothpaste on her arm. "Oh, there are worms everywhere," she gasped. "I miss playing in the mud," said little Princess sadly, as she gazed out of her bedroom window. Just then, the gardener appeared. "Princess," he called, "I've got something to show you." "What is it?" said little Princess, as she peeped out from behind the door. "Look at this lovely worm," he said, holding it out for her to see. "It's not lovely," said little Princess, peering at the worm. "And it's wriggly. Look!" "The worms have to wriggle to live in the mud," said the gardener. "And they churn up the mud, making it healthy and squishy for you to play in." "I do like squishy mud," said little Princess thoughtfully. "But how will I play in it if I don't want to touch any worms?" Just then, little Princess had a very clever idea. "Worms can't touch me now," said little Princess, delighted by her new worm protection outfit. "I'm ready to play again now," announced little Princess to the Prime Minister, who was busy building a muddy castle. Little Princess was having a lovely time in the squelchy mud when all of a sudden a wriggly worm popped out. Little Princess tried to run away, but her wellies were stuck. "Oh no!" she cried. The worm wriggled playfully in front of little Princess. Watching the worm wriggling, little Princess began to notice that maybe the worm was not so yucky after all. In fact, it was quite friendly. "Are you okay, Princess?" asked the worried Prime Minister. "Do you still think worms are horrible?" Little Princess shrugged. "Not really. He is wriggly, but he's also funny. And a little bit cute. And the wormy likes the mud. Just like me," giggled little Princess, forgetting that her wellies were still stuck in the mud. "Let's get you unstuck," chuckled the Prime Minister. 1, 2, 3, he counted, before tugging as hard as he could. The Prime Minister and little Princess sat in the squelchy mud laughing. What a wonderfully muddy day it had been. That evening in the castle, the King and Queen were just finishing their dinner when little Princess walked in, pushing a trolley with a big bowl on the top. "Oh, is that cake?" inquired the Queen eagerly. "No," said little Princess in delight. "It's a mud castle full of worms, and I'm going to keep them forever."